Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session that uses an analogy to help deal with the conflict that many people face when it comes to their finances and money and major life choices, which is the trade-off, the conflict that comes from a desire to have security and comfort, and then this desire to have freedom and adventure. And what was evident is that the client I was working with on this session clearly prioritized freedom and really was a highly resourceful individual capable of very impressive things. And yet, when you've had a period of time where you've chosen comfort and security ahead of freedom and adventure, you start to doubt your own capabilities and resources. And this was the case with this particular client. It was obvious to me that she had those resources, but that wasn't the issue. It was the self-belief. So this hypnosis session is really designed to create feelings of self-belief and a feeling of a desire to take a difficult path, knowing that that difficult path would be more fulfilling and worthwhile, and create all of the benefits of prioritizing security and comfort, but not being dependent on them, which is a very big difference indeed. This will have correlations to money and finances and taking risks and things like business and relationships. But at its core, it's a hypnosis session about choosing freedom and adventure. So what I like about metaphors is that you bring your own reality, your own life experience into the session, and it may mean very different things to you than it meant to the client that I was working with. And that's not a bad thing. That's one of the things I love about hypnosis, that it's flexible and it can create different experiences and different changes for different people depending on where they are in the world and what's important to them. So the best way to enjoy this session is to find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, switch off any devices that could interrupt you, just relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow feelings of worry, stress, or tension to leave your body in your outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, notice that by having a longer breath in, you're breathing in more feelings of calm and relaxation. And by extending the outward breath out, any feelings of resistance or unresourcefulness feels like it's leaving your body in your outward breath. And therefore, the longer the outward breath, the more of those sensations and feelings are leaving your body, enabling you to go deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine an amazing zoo. Imagine an amazing zoo on a sunny day. And I want you to look at the incredible animals in the zoo. Maybe there's a giraffe, an elephant, chimpanzees, tropical birds. But you're drawn to a part of the zoo where there is an amazing wolf, perhaps behind a cage or a glass wall. And there's something about this wolf, the brightness of its eyes. You see intelligence. You see a hunger in this wolf. Notice the color of its fur, the size of its body, the look of its tail. And I want you to imagine that as interested as you are in this wolf, the wolf is interested in you. And I want you to imagine holding eye contact with this wolf. Maybe it's got piercing blue eyes. There is a connection between you and this wolf. I want you to feel that connection. And as you feel that connection, I want you to evaluate the life of this wolf, this powerful, strong, intelligent, capable wolf. I want you to think in many ways this is a privileged wolf. There are wolves out there shivering in the wild, but not this wolf. This wolf has regular meals, regular vet checks, nutritionists to make sure it's getting the right balance of proteins and minerals, always fresh drinking water. Imagine they even have toys for this wolf to play with, so there's stimulation. The zoologists say that a wolf in captivity lives twice as long as a wolf in the wilderness. In many ways, this wolf has a privileged, luxurious life. Except that this wolf doesn't choose what it eats. It has to eat what it's been given. As much as the wolf would look beyond the gates, the cages, the glass walls, it is limited to living in this environment. In the wild, it could trek for days, but in the zoo, it knows every single part of the environment that it lives. All the other wolves, they know all the other wolves. It's the same faces every day. I want you to get a sense that this wolf has security, but not freedom. And I want you to imagine what it would be like to be this wolf as you shift perspective into the body of the wolf. Imagine eating your delicious meal, drinking your clean water, sleeping in a warm environment. Even if it rains, you're dry. But it's the same day. And maybe there's a part of you that wonders how well you would do in the wilderness how well you would do in the forest. But while you're in the zoo, you'll never know. It's very easy while you're in the zoo to say, I would do amazingly in the wilderness, because you have the safety and the security of the zoo. And I want you to imagine one day something happens. For the first time in a long time, you as a wolf get to choose the comfort, the security, the safety, the predictability of the zoo, or to be released back in the wilderness. And I want you to imagine this is not an easy decision, because the decision to venture out in the wilderness is a difficult one. I want you to get a sense that the wilderness is less stable, less predictable, but it is more fun in the forest. You have more freedom in the forest. Every day you could see a new part. You could wake up somewhere new. You have infinite choices in the forest. There are many more other wolves in the wilderness. So the likelihood of finding a like-minded wolf out there in the wilderness that connects with you is more likely in the wilderness than in the zoo. And I want you to think that there are choices in the wilderness, but there are challenges in the wilderness. You have the ability to create the life you desire in the wilderness, not the life you're given. But it's not easy in the wilderness. I want you to get a sense that at the point of deciding to stay in the zoo or to go to the wilderness, you start thinking of your own capabilities. Start thinking of those times in the past you did things that surprised you, that enabled you to solve problems, to make progress, to learn from mistakes. I want you to get a sense that you are unlocking a belief in yourself that's always been there, but is easy to question in the safety of the zoo. It's easy to say that you would do well in the wilderness if you're never out in the wilderness. But simply by choosing to be in the wilderness is you believing in yourself. In the zoo, you're told the balance of your time to eat, to sleep. In the wilderness, you choose your own balance. You create your own destiny in the wilderness. At some level, the choice is security or freedom, predictability or adventure. And if you feel like you would choose the wilderness, knowing what's at stake, knowing that you can create all the good things that you have in the zoo out in the wilderness by building your own security and predictability. If you're ready to choose the wilderness over the comfort of the zoo, let me know by nodding your head. And then imagine you're no longer in the zoo. What was just a few square meters is now thousands of acres. Maybe it's cold, maybe there's snow, and it feels good to have all that freedom. I want you to get a sense that freedom is a currency. The ability to choose what to do, when to do, who to do it with, and how to do it is worth more than money and security. If you had to choose to have £1 billion in the bank account but spend the rest of your life in solitary confinement, or to wake up the next day with nothing but be able to create the life that you desire, there isn't a single person that would choose the billion with the isolation and the restrictions. And therefore freedom has always been in your nature. As you unlock your ability to trust in yourself, to learn from the challenges, to allow adversity and difficult times make you wiser and more capable. The zoo represents entitlement. The forest and the wilderness represents opportunity. And by choosing opportunity, you become the architect of your destiny. And I wonder what destiny you desire. I want you to think of your ideal life, what you would do each day, how you create value for you and your world and the people you love the most, but also how you create value in the world. What is your creative outlet? And how does that have an impact on the world? Imagine that this life of wilderness is not easy, but that's what gives it its value. And I want you to imagine it's now a year in the future, a year of living in the wilderness. And I want you to feel like you've thrived, not just survived. That was the beginning, the first few weeks and months. Surviving is essential. But when you have confidence in your ability to survive, you lay the foundations to thrive. And I want you to imagine there are two key differences. You're creating more value for the world. And the value for the world that you create is proportionate to the value that comes back to you, not just financially, but emotionally. And secondly, like attracts like. I want you to get a sense that the more aligned with your frequency, the more aligned with your values, the more you believe in yourself, the more that you naturally attract like-minded people that also are very capable, also can deal with difficult problems, also can thrive in difficult circumstances, and also believe in themselves. I want you to get a sense that a year in the wilderness has given you a similar level of comfort, a similar level of security, but the security comes from the belief in your own abilities rather than the reliance of what has come from other people. And if your unconscious mind accepts that not only that this is desirable, but that you have the capabilities to manifest and create and cultivate this future, let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to imagine you've been thriving in the wilderness, in the forest for 2 years. And then bizarrely you run into an old zookeeper. And the zookeeper asks if you want to come back to the predictability of the zoo, telling you you're going to get regular meals and lots of attention, all this medical care, and a warm place to sleep. And think how easy it is for that not to be desirable when you've thrived in the wilderness. Why would anyone choose security that comes with control when they can create security that comes with freedom? And if your unconscious mind is now aligned with a future of self-belief, of value and balance, of a belief that you create your destiny, let me know by nodding your head. And then imagine you're staring into the eyes of a wolf trapped in a zoo, knowing that that wolf is capable of incredible things, but this wolf will spend their life in that zoo, never knowing that they could have thrived in the wilderness. And you leave that forlorn-looking wolf staring into space as you make a commitment to yourself, to believe in yourself. And then feel like you're returning to the present, but returning with new resources, new ideas, a new inner self-belief, and a willingness to venture out of comfort zones, to believe in yourself, and to cultivate your own capabilities, returning to the present, listening to my voice as you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. That's it. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.